Hey guys, Chris in Retro. Sorry for the videos and the driving. This is the only time I'm able to get anything done these days, it seems like. Yeah, I just wanted to talk to you guys today. I was talking to a friend yesterday that's struggling, and I think that this might resonate with you. Whether you have an addiction issue or not, if you're in a relationship with somebody that does struggle with addiction, I know that people have been in relationships with me have had a hard time with it, but if you're in recovery or trying to be in recovery, and you're with somebody that's struggling, there's a lot of dynamics about that are tough. One is, if your substance is different than what the other person's substance is, it's really easy to take on a, daddy or mommy role. You know more about it, or, yours isn't as bad as theirs. That's a big one. The other one is when you have tremendous faith that your relationship is the rescuer of all bad things that have happened. And it can be very minimizing and for men emasculating when your partner struggles with addiction because it feels like you're not enough, or you're not doing enough, or you need to rescue them, or all these things. And it can be very destructive to you as a person. One of the things when I was up here, I tell the families, because families are always if you're up here and you're working with somebody that's had an overdose or something like that, one of the things that you'll run into is the family wants you to rescue them, and you can't rescue them, but they also want to rescue them too, so they want you to give them the magic bullet, so to speak, to rescue their loved one, and it's just not doable. Recovery is really an individual choice based on your individual recovery. What I would tell them is that, there's really only, the best option is to be a lifeboat when they come to surface and they're looking for support. But where things get sideways is when we're a lifeboat and we try to make that lifeboat a submarine. Boats were never meant to be underwater, and if you try to make it underwater, then nobody survives. My friend is going through the shock of a new relationship where he's in a longer-term recovery and believed that his partner was in recovery as well. And now all the insecurities come in because this person's had a relapse and is wanting to get help. So I guess a few things I observed about this situation I feel like are more confidence building for him, even though it's hurtful. This person has not had any infidelity. They were not out with other people getting into trouble or anything else. They just are struggling with their addiction, and it manifested its ugly head. And those of us that are in recovery or are struggling with addiction understand that this stuff comes out of nowhere. It doesn't make it easier. And so when you're in a relationship with somebody, especially if you feel like you have their answers for them and they're not listening, it can feel as if you're not important anymore, and they don't care about you. I think it's two different elements. There's one piece is their addiction is their addiction, and their journey with that is their journey with that. It crosses over in pain and things like that, but recovery is never really the partner's responsibility or fault. There are times when partners do things that are triggering that can cause relapse to occur, or help facilitate relapse. But in the end, our recovery and our sobriety is really our job, and we can have a million reasons why, or no reason at all, but relapse or reoccurrence can happen out of the blue. My friend is struggling today. He's hurting. He's going to miss this girl because she's made a decision to go get some help, and which is laudable. I think it's something very important for her to see them for what it's going to do. And I think for me, that should be, and the advice I give him is that should be a confidence builder that she was willing to jump right into the recovery mode again rather than destroy the relationship. So those are good things. But I think that some advice I would give. One is, if you're in recovery, you're going to get in a relationship with somebody in recovery, don't expect you to be the power couple. Never expect the power couple thing to happen, because there's nothing that really changes when you're with somebody other than support. It doesn't change your struggle. It doesn't change the trauma or the things mental health issues that got you there in the first place. It does give you another resource and another option, another level of support. As time goes on, it can be tremendously difficult if you don't deal with these emotions early on in a relationship. It can be, over time, it can become something that's resentment and cause all kinds of struggles. You can make that choice, and you're in recovery, to go be with somebody that also has had struggles with addiction. Know that inevitably, some point down the road, you're going to run into this issue, and you're going to have one of you that's going to have concerns. Whether it manifests in active abuse or not, that's not always the case, but those things that got you there absolutely could be part of your situation. And be prepared for that, but not negative about your relationship. If you've chosen to go into it, go all in with every bit of success-minded thinking, and recognize that any number of things could happen along the way, and if they should happen, evaluate the circumstances based on the actuality of what happened. Was it infidelity? Was it going on all the time? Or was this a situation where somebody just had a trip up and they're willing to embrace getting back on track? The second one, I think, is probably something that you can work with a whole heck of a lot more than the first one. The first one's going to have to be, it's soul wrenching. It's a tough one, and I'm not sure I would ever recommend anybody ride out that one. The infidelity one is one that just, with addiction, brings in so many levels of unpredictability that it makes it very difficult for the person that did the cheating to ever make a commitment that's real, even if they have all the good intentions in the world. And it also adds the layer of broken trust and belief in a relationship that was supposed to be rising above all this. Share all this with you because relationships are amazing. They can be some of the most incredible things for you in recovery. They can be the thing that makes the difference for you to keep long-term sobriety, or they can be the thing that throws you back into a mess that makes it virtually impossible to get back on your feet. I encourage you to evaluate your circumstance for what it is. If you find yourself in one of these bumpy seasons in your relationship, evaluate that for what it is. There's no textbook way of dealing with it. It really is about your tolerance and your willingness and your belief in what you have with this other person. Is it worth the fight or is it not? That's really what it boils down to. Guys, thank you for spending the time with me here in a minute. Hope you guys have a great day. It's really snowy here in western New York, a little bit cold. But between now and the next time we talk, I'm going to do everything I can to stay out of trouble. I hope you do too.